I'm all for the cause. It was dope. Yeah, very important too. I I made the mistake of going on Twitter, or X, formerly known as Twitter, and saw all the negative remarks and stuff like that. But why you look high?
I am tired, sis.
You
I mean,
you haven't gotten any rest since you've been there,
oh, I've
or is
gotten
it?
rest. Like,
Is
I've been
it
sleeping and stuff, but like, it was like, it's such a. First of all, I got to show you this beautiful thing.
Good morning.
It's
What's her name?
Blanca.
Hey,
Blanca.
Blanca. Blanca,
Yeah.
Blanca.
She is my little shadow. She don't let me do anything. So as soon as I lay down or I sit back, she'll be like this. Um,
Welcome back,
but
baby.
it was an amazing experience. Um, I
I
if you're
thought you
talking
picked the
about
dog up
the
like that.
oh no.
I was like, dang, you just. I thought that pillow was the dog.
Oh no, that's actually that sweatshirt.
Oh, I was like, dang.
She weighed about 100 pounds. If I was picking her up like that, I've been lifting weights for a
Man,
living.
listen, I thought you was super strong for a minute. Hey,
Oh
gift of
no,
God.
heck nah. She lifted me up like that, throwing me on her back, talking about, okay, she helping me pick out clothes right now. Like literally helping me pick out clothes. She like, yeah, let's put this on.
That's funny.
Um,
But
but the what is it? I keep the name of the actual movement that we joined. It's not the No Kings, but it is the People's Union.
yeah,
The People's
the
Union.
the
Yeah.
protest was no kings, but the People's Union. I signed up, but I was
Yeah.
waiting. I'm waiting just for an email response. But like I said, I didn't get one. Well, I
It'll
haven't
be
checked.
from your local chapter person. Yeah.
Yeah,
It'll be from your local chapter in Charlotte. And the ones from Columbia picked me up because I'm like close to Columbia and that's a major city. But
yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I want my own little thing to put together, but I'll join up with Columbia, but ultimately
Hey,
we like to get all of them together
hey.
to do
Okay.
more. It was an experience. I'm happy I came home and had that experience here at home. And home being DC is my home, guys. If y'all
Yeah,
didn't
I know
know,
what you. I know what you meant. Thank
but
you for the harmony.
yeah, I had to come home. Came home
Are you
and I've
hanging
got
out?
lots of pictures and
Ah,
hmm,
shoot. Are you hanging around for 31 Voices?
um, I,
Yes and no.
I'm gonna be in the comments today.
Okay.
I'll be in the comments today.
Okay.
Yeah, because
Um,
I want to go back to sleep. Yeah,
okay.
I'm trying to re-energize from yesterday. It was a lot. So I'm gonna go ahead and jump down so you can get started. Has
Okay.
everyone gotten here yet?
No, no. Just the people that's in the chat. So no one's. I mean, no one's in the boxes. So I'm a. Carry on.
We can start talking if you'd like to.
Yeah.
You want to start
Um.
talking about it?
Mhm. Yeah. We didn't get to our 10K likes yet, but I'll start. But but anyhow, welcome to episode 11 of 31 Voices podcast. We're here to create space for truth, healing, and radical self discovery. I'm your host, Diamond Travel, and today's episode is all about one most powerful journey we have taken, the journey of unlearning to become. What does that mean? It means peeling back the layers of who we were told to be by culture, by religion, by family, and reclaiming who you actually are at the core. So today we're going to sit in an uncomfortable truth, engage in some powerful reflection, and hopefully walk away lighter, um, freer, and more connected to ourselves. So I invite you to share your voice in the chat, or if you decide that you want to come up in the box, that's great too. This is a conversation, not a lecture, and let's grow together. And right now, I have to check my timer so I know where I started. Okay, so let's break this into two parts for clarity. So, the unlearning, and y'all, I have my laptop right here because I wasn't able to print out any notes. So, just bear with me. We're gonna do the unlearning. Um, The definition of unlearning, the process of consciously letting go of beliefs, behaviors, norms, or values that no longer serves us, especially those inherited from our systems of power, culture, or religion that conditioned us to suppress or abandon our authentic selves. Like for an example, releasing shame-based teachings from childhood religion or letting go of cultural gender roles that confine your identity. So those are a couple of examples. And the definition of to become, the act of rediscovering and embodying your truest self, free from imposed narrative. This is not about adding more, it's about remembering who you were before the world told you who to be. Couple of examples. Reclaiming spiritual practices that align with your truth. And living in alignment with your values, even if they defy tradition. So, go ahead, Mika.
Okay, so I'm going to share something that happened yesterday with my brother and I. My brother's a very scientifically driven person who is very like fact based. You have to prove it for him to believe it, right? And if it's
Mm-hmm.
not something that's tangible, um, you're going to question it. And I mean, like we had a probably a 4 hour long discussion yesterday, debate actually, about um, spiritualism and and stuff. No,
Don't know what just happened. You kind of
my,
paused.
my,
You're going in and out, Mika.
okay. It might be my service. I'm not sure.
Okay, I can hear you now. I
Can
think.
you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. So we had like a very long and exhausting debate yesterday about, the existence of the Most High, right? And
Okay.
I had to explain to him that, yes, I was baptized in Christianity, and that still makes me a Christian, right? However, my
Mm-hmm.
belief systems have changed due to life events that have happened to me that would be deemed supernatural to other people because of how I ended up on my journey. And then, we started talking about shamanism and how you become a shaman and, the layers of stuff that you have to really do. And I really did not piece it together until just now when
Mm-hmm.
you said shedding a part of you to
And
become,
right.
right? So I literally, like, I felt like I was defending my dissertation yesterday. We got frustrated. It was an intense debate yesterday, but um, I did have to shed my belief system of what I was taught, what was ingrained in me about, who God is, the rule of organized religion. And I had to tell him that you can be both, but belief systems change for you to evolve, you know, and that what I do kind of it's fluid. I'm like, you have to be fluid. You have to just go with the flow. There's no absolutes in any of this, right? But I
Hmm.
was like, every time that I have had I'm gonna have to say a very intense upgrade to my um, I have to say to my and I don't like using superpowers, but I'm just going to use superpowers for lack of better words because I'm still very much exhausted. Um,
Yeah.
I had to shed parts of me, right? But I also had to
Hmm.
let go of the belief system that, you got to go to church every Sunday. You got to do this. You can't do this. It's wrong for you to do this. You know what I mean? Like all of the confines that man have put in place for us. And I was just like, and sometimes you just got to have belief. You just have to go out on faith and you just have to just accept what is shown to you. But you can't do that if you have all of these constraints and all of this stuff and you are reluctant to let go of those belief systems that you're so ingrained in. Off of this topic, we'll talk about that part later. But there was a very deep lesson in it for me and one for
Hmm.
him and also for my sister in law, like, because she was involved in the debate as well. And it was a shedding a layer of a whole, like a 40 plus year ingrained system of beliefs of what Christianity is and what it feels like to serve, you know, the divine most high. And there are different ways of doing it, and there's no wrong way of doing it, if that makes sense,
It
you
does.
know. But it takes a lot of hard work to become. And I have to say that, through the the joint experiences that we've shared over the past, 3 weeks, almost a month, I think we all have become a different version of ourselves through a shared experience that we had, but we had to let go of things during that experience. And it was amazing. And I will have to just, I'm not going to bring up the name of it because this is about 31 Voices. I will have to say that I am blessed and honored to have shared my first of many to come of those experiences with you too. I am blessed that you both were there. And I know that each of you, we all, including my father, including Lori Anna, who really wasn't there in the flesh, but she was there with us in the spirit. Everyone that was there walked away a different person, and we all shed and let go of stuff, and we're still doing it now.
I know weeks later. So right,
Yeah.
Aquarius. So yeah. And I get it, and you just explained, but you just told you answered my first question, like, what's one belief you inherited from your culture or religion that you had to unlearn? So you just answered that, and I just want to say for me. it was like, having, what's up, Jay? To the mother, Donna. Wait a minute, let me back up and say that right. What's up, Jay? To the mother, Donna. But for me, it was more like the religious aspect of of things, like like you said earlier, having to get up and go to church every Sunday, to be in the house of the Lord. Um, um, that experience. Well, I'm gonna share this. I've lost that aspect of having to be in church because of a pastor that SA'd me. So that changed my out the way I look at going to church. Because every time I'm in a church, and that's what I see. And so that stopped me from going out. Um, will I still go? Yes. If you invite me to come with you, I will go. But trust me, I'm sitting there looking at that pastor like I did umpteen many years ago, 40 years ago, maybe. Yeah, probably about 40 plus years ago. So yeah, I had to I had to unlearn. Not everybody's the same. Not everybody's a what I say a liar, because I look at them as liars. Why are you lying? Like, so now when I go to church, I look for teaching. I don't look for the hooping and the hollering and the shouting. I don't look at any of that, because I'm looking at that. I'm looking for that pastor to teach me um now. So hey, harm love. But yeah, that's one of the things that I have that, and still today, unlearning. But I'm not going. I'm not going to nobody's church unless you invite me. that's just that's just the way it is. But yeah, energies, son. What's one belief you inherited from your culture or religion that you had to unlearn?
I think for me, religion is a big one. You keep saying unlearned, and I feel like as children, we're programmed to do
Yeah,
certain things, and then as we adult, we can deprogram ourselves to certain beliefs or norms, or like I'm spot on with you and Mika on religion as that is concerned. I think for me, I can say that um, my sexuality was something that kept me in a box
yeah.
because of societal norms and expectations, and then fear. But then again, that was a program that was put into me. And then as I've grown and becoming more to who I am, it became, hey, it's not a bad thing, like, so be who you are. So I was able to deprogram myself from that regard, um, just because society still, I mean, in present day, they're still trying to put us back into that programmed package, um, against our will. Yeah.
Hey, Faith. How about you, son?
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for having me up.
Good
Liddy Lit
morning.
in the house.
Indeed.
So for me, I'm gonna say the same for the most part. It was religion. I went to a Southern Baptist when I was young, which is really, really strict. And yes, getting up, going to church every Sunday was a must. And I have grown and learned that I can have a relationship with God or the Most High anywhere I'm at.
Right. And that's how I think that's how it should be, in
Right.
my opinion.
Now, I'm not saying, that my relationship with God tells me not to go fellowship with other like minded individuals. But at the same time, I have to find that comfort place. And then there was a couple of other things, and I'm just going to say it like this. My parents were always, um, as far as in me dating, you date uh, people with the same melatonin. And I didn't end up that way, thank God, because for me, when you find God, we are all the same.
Right.
Exactly.
I mean, if
So,
if you cut me and somebody cut you, I think the color is going to be the same.
so I'm sorry, I don't want to take it there. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna say that I did end up with my ex, who is different, and we were high school sweethearts, and all heck broke loose. But it could break loose. It's okay because this is my life, and it's me, and it's
Right.
my belief,
Okay.
and
But
that's all.
okay. Well, welcome in everyone. Thank y'all for joining. Jay, thank you for joining the live. So today's topic, just to reiterate, is unlearning to become. Um, and real quick, I'm just going to go over the definition so everybody that just joined can just see where we're going with this conversation. And unlearning is the process of consciously letting go of beliefs, behaviors, norms, or values that no longer serves us. And then to become, because we're breaking it up in two parts, is the act of rediscovering and embodying your truest self, free from imposed narratives. So those are the definitions, and that's where we're going on this topic today. And my first question was, what's one belief you inherited from your culture or religion that you've had to unlearn? And that's where we are. So, Jay, did you have anything you want to say? But good morning to you, first of all. Good to see you. Your picture, anyway. I know you're probably moving around, getting yourself together. Uh, don't know if you can hear me. Hey, Lotus. So, but that was the first question. Trying to give her a moment to see if she can if she's gonna respond. Hmm.
Sorry.
Oh no, you're
I
good.
told Craig and them I was gonna kick it with them. Gotta go. See you when I see you. I'm kidding. Um, hey y'all. Hold on.
Hey, hey, pin up.
Okay. So can you say that last question again?
What was one belief you inherited from your culture or religion that you've had to unlearn?
A woman's job is never over.
That's, I think that's like, as far as women is concerned, that's like normal.
No, it's not. Okay. That's why we're unlearning that, okay?
It's like for me, it's like a woman's work is never done.
Jay, you was passionate about that one.
Yeah, you gotta relax, you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, like
But what's that?
see, you don't even know what it is. You gotta find it. You gotta find it. Okay.
If I were a
Okay, Diamond, I feel
boy.
you.
Now, but I was hearing about church. I didn't. What's weird is I got all kind of pastors and preachers in my family. But I didn't grow up going to church. Um, at all. Maybe into high school, I decided to go into it myself and became an usher and became part of the choirs and was singing because I thought I could sing till recently. So I met y'all, and so I didn't have that. I didn't have that. Go to church. every Sunday and all of that. So
I would have thought you would because of your family that's into the churches and stuff. I thought you was what, a church girl.
my parents was Rolling Stones. They was knocked out on Sunday morning. If I went to church, I went to church with the homies that was across the street. And that's when I was going to Happy Church, and they were trying to teach me how to praise. I mean, how to catch the Holy Ghost. And can't nobody teach you how to catch no Holy Ghost.
No,
No, they cannot.
I didn't know that was a teachable thing.
it's not.
Some
Wait,
think to think it is, though.
that's wild. I never heard that in my all my 27 years of living. I've never heard that.
Growing up going into church when I was younger, I would watch some of my elders um, catch the Holy Ghost and wonder. I would just look at them in awe, like, is that performative? Like, obviously not when a child was I thinking, was it performative? But I was thinking, is that what we supposed to do? As a kid, I'm looking like, okay, should I be up here shouting and throwing myself out? Because that's what the adults are doing. So you wonder, I think there's a lot, without being struck down, the theatrics, you just wonder sometimes.
Because we lived in Colorado. Anytime my mom went to church, who didn't go to church, she would pass out. She would, I look at her like, you okay?
I mean, if you think about it, because I always thought it was a lot of times I thought it was a performance because it's like I guess it's a dance. Everybody can do the same kind of dance move. The drum. No matter what church you go to, the drummer beats the same beat. like,
I mean, if you feel it, you feel it. I mean, I guess it's somebody just said, something else entered them. And no disrespect at all to those that feel it when they're in the church. But as a child, I would watch and just, be scared sometimes if someone next to me would just, feel something.
good morning, Faith. I can't hear you. We can't hear you.
That mute button, boy.
I muted myself so I wouldn't be loud before I said anything, and then I forgot to unmute. So
Oh.
I I was just gonna sit back and listen. This topic was a little too real.
Well, but this is just a question because the topic is unlearning to become.
Oh yeah, well it's all related because I had a very distorted view of faith because of my experience in a church like that. I mean, my name is Faith. It was like I would Sunday morning, Sunday night, Wednesday night, Bible bowls on Saturdays. They took us to judgment houses where like there would be the devil and like bad little girls that did bad things and ended up in hell, and like they would show you hell. Like I have vivid memories of
Wow.
some pretty wild stuff, and I thought that was normal. Like I thought that everybody had a moment as a 4-year-old where they're like, I'm not filled with the Holy Ghost. Like I'm not talking in tongues. I'm not saved enough. I didn't do it right, And I'm a 43-year-old woman trying to deconstruct and then reconstruct any type of healthy faith because what was given to me was so wild that it didn't make sense to me, and I never thought I did it good enough, so it wasn't real because what I was seeing was
Unreal.
unreal stuff, like seeing my daddy clear pews, like just wild stuff. And I'm like, oh, I'm not a good enough Christian. I don't, Jesus doesn't want to live in me like everybody else because I'm not doing this. What am I doing wrong? And then it'll mess with you because then you grow up and you're like, other people didn't have this experience. You hear about other people at church and these really healthy relationships, and They learn how to love themselves, and it's not rooted in shame and fear and guilt. And you're like, wow, there's something completely different out there, and I missed it. And now my view is distorted, and I have to unlearn everything so I can relearn something that's really authentic to the purpose, if that makes sense.
It does. It does. um, so like personal reflection. Was there a moment when you realized this isn't my truth? This is something I was taught to believe? Like what was that moment?
When I started coming into contact with other people that had faith as an adult, and I would start talking about some of these experiences, and they would look at me like, what? And I would go, wait, this wasn't happening for you? I was oblivious because the only experiences I had were very rooted in fear and shame and guilt. So, you know, I was an adult before I started coming in contact with mainly other women that had a very different relationship with their faith that wasn't rooted in the type of fear that I had. And then I realized that not everyone was having the same. Church is not the same for everyone. And then I had to let go of some of my stigmas towards church and faith because I realized it wasn't what it was supposed to be as a whole. It was just a very kind of, it was kind of like a cult, honestly, where I was. I mean, you've seen the Duggar families and those wild shows about, like, that was, I was a fundamentalist. Like, it was extreme and not rooted in love and forgiveness or self love, or like little girls were not taught to love themselves. They were taught to keep sweet, pray, and obey. And that was
Right.
it.
Yep.
And if you weren't a good little girl, you were bad. And I had to learn to get out of that.
So anybody else? Like what was there a moment where you realized this isn't my truth? This is something I was taught to believe? Like it doesn't necessarily have to be religion, of course, but like um
I think
what
once you get to a certain age, with all things, whether it's religion or social, just whatever society puts on you, as you start experiencing life, that's when you realize that everything taught was a program, and then it's based on interpretation. So when it comes to religion, religion is based on interpretation. So anything as a, I think when you come into high school, even junior high, you start experiencing things, then you realize that, hey, what I was taught or what I was shown may not necessarily be. And I think that's how we become ourselves is when we come into our own interpretation of life in general.
yeah, I think with like you said, as you get older, you of course you learn more and you meet other people that's not on that page. Like for me, the moment when I realized that wasn't my truth is when I stopped people pleasing. Is when I realized I wasn't even who I was, what everybody else wanted me to be instead of who I really am. But I could take it back a little further because in my teenage years, when I was in the streets hustling and doing whatever I wanted to do, I was wanting more of like that family that I didn't have. So I just did what I wanted to do. Thanks, Jay, with that, with my street family. Like to for me, that was my family, and it took my kid's father removing me from that life to realize that's not who I really was. That was what I felt like I needed to be, mainly because of society and the environment that I was in, not knowing there could be a better life somewhere else. So that was something, uh, because of where I was, the environment that I was in, it was, I thought that's what how life had to be. So kudos to my kid's dad for showing me something different. Um, Even though we're not together, because he showed me something different again. uh,
I feel that too. I'm going to say this. I was always brought up, even taught, after I got out of the household, that a woman is to serve a man or her partner. And I had to change that. I kind of lost myself in that situation.
I can see that.
So now for me, it is recipient of each other. So a give and take of each other. And I think I realized that in ending my last relationship. And to add on to that, for me, I didn't want to lose my good heart. But at the same time, I had to redirect my thought process. Do you see? I don't know if I'm making sense, but I had
You
to
are.
rewire my brain.
You are. Yeah, like I mean, from what I'm getting from it is like you have to learn self love.
Yes,
You have to learn how to, at what point in life do you put yourself first?
yes,
So I
that
get
part.
it.
That's like an everyday ongoing thing. Like each day, I mean, you should improve, you strive to improve yourself on a daily. And that just goes with across the board, like,
Yeah.
Right. And now I do, daily, because I've come to the point where I was able to rewire my brain to understand that. But I agree with you, energy. I think it's across the board as we get older and experience the world or new things that our perspective does change. And of course, you have to have an open mind to begin with.
Hmm. Oh yeah, harm love. I see you here. We know you here. We just trying to get the question answered, but it's fine. You could chime in. Well, I see you here.
Good morning, Diamond. Good morning, panel. I didn't want to be rude.
Oh no, you're good.
This topic is I was sitting back listening to you guys, and I didn't know when to chime in because I wanted to make sure that what y'all was saying is what I have been doing on my platform for a while now. And
Mhm.
I'm hoping I'm not okay, not hoping. Well, I'm hoping that I'm getting what you're saying, and I'm gonna there's a lot of things. As a child, I've grew up. I've been and I had a rough childhood. I've been in foster care, and then my aunt raised us, and my aunt kept us in the church. She kept. I believe we were in there like 6, almost 7 days a week, from sun up to sundown. And growing up, when I got to an age and to understand what was going on, I had questions, right? But the thing I was taught was do not question God or do not question the Bible, and never understood why you asked me not to do these things, because if I'm learning something, shouldn't I go to this God, right? Should I have questions for him? Should God give me answers and stuff like that? But no, you couldn't do that. That was shameful of and everything. Some of the things I've noticed, why there was always male pastors. A lot of the things that was said was more like someone says. I put it in the comments that it was cultivating. I have to say cultivating like that so y'all can
Mhm.
get what I was saying in the comments without TikTok.
Yeah.
So so yeah, um I've been on TikTok, and I have my spirit energy has directed me to back to my childhood when I had these questions, right? My teen when I had these questions, and I've done the work. So it's a lot of things that TikTok safety. Jim, beginning of the book,
Mhm.
spoke to me um that made me be like continue my request, my search, and my work on what I have been learning coming up versus and what is taking place on these platforms, listening to
Hey, Sierra.
male 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 individuals and how they utilize or weaponize the parts of the book. One thing I don't want to take up all too many of the time, but one thing I've when I moved down here to the Carolinas, I was going to church, and what struck me in going that I will always hear like Sundays they have different different the pastor talks about different things, but then like the next week or the next month it was like a repetitive conversation, and it was almost like something like programming, like this book is so thick, but I keep hearing the same conversation over and over again, right? So
Right.
I had to make sure if I was feeling or thinking what was going on was fact. So I started highlighting and putting the dates and little sticky notes and on the book, and I started doing that just to see if that's what was happening, and that's exactly what was happening.
So
And
you was going to a program. that you
Lord, let me tell you something. I was like, wait, we spoke about this just this, and I'm reading what they're saying, and it's like a programming. Am I echoing or somebody else?
so
Let me.
I don't hear an echo. Anybody else hear an echo?
I think we all are, but it's okay.
So, um, I don't know if any, I don't, I've never seen any on my platform. I'll do a lot of debunking and bringing things into um to reality on my platform when it comes to the Bible and what the man versus spiritual versus the creator versus God, and I do a lot on my platform about that. So I don't know if y'all want to hear some of the things I've come to learn, and I'll share that with y'all if you want to. But yeah, I just want to listen a little bit more, make sure that you know.
Okay, so what this is, love, is this is a podcast. But we
Hmm.
call this 31 Voices. I do this every Sunday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's for women and it's about women. And we have different topics of discussion. We just deep dive, I consider this a safe space. I'm not going to say place because this is social media.
Hmm.
So, but, you know, we try to open up, to different topics and just talk about it. And if you learn something, great. If you don't, share it with someone else that might learn something from it. So don't, this isn't this particular topic is about unlearning to become. Um, I I generally don't do religion or politics, but I see that we all have a common, what's the word I'm looking for? A common element, I should say, which geared it towards religion.
denominator.
So yeah, so like my second question that I asked was there a moment where you realized this isn't my truth? This is something that was taught to believe. So, and that's the question that we're answering right now. That's where we are. But thank you. I appreciate you joining and didn't mind the shameless plug. So, anybody that wants to follow Love, go ahead and follow her. I do follow her. So, yeah,
Okay.
and if they decide that they want to follow you, they'll come check you out.
Okay.
And if it's something that they can relate to, they'll be there. So,
I want to say my all religions. I was told that I was gonna have to work the rest of my life and get a job, and you gotta retire from that job, and you don't leave that job.
Ooh, is
is
that
it is that part of the reason why you've been at your job so long?
Yes, yes,
So even if you had thoughts, if you and I know you already thought about like leaving. Is it if you ever wanted to leave? Have you ever wanted to leave and can't because you feel like you might lose something?
yeah. That's the only reason I stayed. But this
Yes.
year it changed for me because everything changed.
See that, and I don't know. And see, that's what I was afraid of. But I don't hear the echo. Everybody else does. Mika said a little.
Well, it's fine.
Everybody's everybody's muted. So
You want me to drop down? Let me see if it's me. I'll drop down.
she's saying no, it's not you. Are you hearing it real bad, Jay?
It's just when I talk.
I don't know. Let me mute me and see.
Yeah. Hello, hello.
you just said? Say something, Jay.
Akuta Matata.
No, there's no,
It
there's
means
no.
no
Can you hear echo with me?
for the rest of the days. There's no
It's all
echo now.
problem free.
Akuta Matata. But yeah, that I had to retire. I had to become in the workforce. I had to. That was the only way, And my dad didn't have no boys, so it was like that's what you do as a man, woman. Uh, yeah. There was no owning your own business. You crazy. You crazy. Go find you a job and keep your head down.
That's wild that you were taught to keep the same job versus um, the age old don't leave this job till you have another job. But to have somebody tell you you need to stay in the same job, that's wild to me because that's like limiting growth unless you are growing within that company. If you in the same position for the 20, 30 years, but that's kind of how it was when, my mom, when she was working, she stayed in the same job doing the same thing every day for years on years on years. And I thought I would lose my mind having stayed in a job 30 years doing the same thing. And it wasn't like anything of interest, really. It was just more of like, take this screw, put it on this one over here. Take this screw, put this on here. I mean, for 30 years doing the same thing, that's
And then they
just
brag
keeps you
like
right
I
there.
don't take vacation. They didn't take vacation to where it was normal. Like I gotta work. I mean, I used to feel like at work, like I'm doing them a favor. Like, nah, I don't need to take no vacation. I'm here. I'm working.
What about the saying women are emotional and men are logical? Like
I
women are not logical and men don't have emotions. That one was weird for me. I used to always hate hearing that.
Yeah.
You're right, Sierra. Being burnt out showed that value. Like, I'm good at my job. I'm burnt out, but you know they didn't have no thing such as work life balance. There was no such thing.
You got to clean up every Saturday listening to music.
Okay, so I forgot I was muted. But yeah, this is anybody else. Anybody else wanted to speak on the moment they realized that this isn't my truth? Because I'm gonna move on to like community and culture. And Jay, did you read the notes? I'm messing with.
Yeah.
I'm messing with you. Um, so, how do communities respond when someone chooses to unlearn traditional norms? And I think Jay, you might have tapped on that where everybody um, expect you to be doing something that they want you to do, and then you unlearn.
It's not even that. It's like it took me. I think I mentioned this last week. It took me seeing the bravery of my friend Kismet. That's not a social norm to be in the spiritual world to call yourself a woo or a bruja or
Yeah. Oh no, I was saying I was doing that to the chat because they said they hear the echo again, and I think for some reason it might be me. But real quick, Mama Nista, how do communities respond when someone chooses to unlearn traditional norms?
but yeah, just when I see other people do, and then like other people just judge, and I was probably one of those judgers where I had to see how I'm judging people, them doing something that is not socially normal, but it works for them, and it helped me get me out of my shell. Like, I didn't want to post anything on Facebook anymore about any more businesses or doing anything more because socially norm is like the girl you all over the place. You all over the place. That's not socially normal. Um, but seeing my friends like that, Mika, um, you know, doing things that's not normal. Like I'm an Eastern Star. When I became an Eastern Star, my family they tore me one. They're like, "What are you doing?" Because it wasn't socially norm for them. But like I was telling my daughter the other day, I would never take that experience back because it kind of broke that chain for me to unlearn what I was taught in my family.
Mika, I know you said you had something to say.
When when I announced when I started speaking my truth as I'm a shaman, and I had to say that to myself so many times, and then I watched the people around me push back or fall back. Like when I was going through my spiritual identity part, I remember being with my husband at his brother's house, and his brother asked him if I was a bruja, and my husband said yes. And his brother instantly backed away from me. And and that's just meaning a medicine woman in a different culture. Like I think a bruja is a medicine woman with santeria or with um, the religious cultures that are in like Latin America or Hispanic, those type of in that region, you know. Like yesterday again, it's that level of kind of like judgment of people kind of just like not wanting, they don't know what that means. I know what the word means, but I also know that they call me that same thing. When I say that I'm a shaman, they instantly say that I'm a W, and I'm not. But then I will say, yeah, I am. If that's what if that's how you want to view me, that's fine. You know what I mean? Like, I don't care what you call me. Just understand that I'm a shaman and I have pure intentions. You know what I mean? And not all witches are bad. They have, there's balance in this world. And then having to kind of like, I felt at some point in time I had to justify who I was. And I'm like, I don't give a fuck how you feel about me. I am who I am, you know? And if you don't, F1 the chat, please. If you don't accept me for who I am, then you're missing out on what I have to say, an amazing experience of being able to experience my gifts, you know? And like Jay said, she had that kind of like that hesitation for her own friend, who went through her journey. Well, I experienced that within our group as well. It's just like, okay, so what you doing, Mika? Like, like you've evolved, and I have evolved since the day you met me, because you're one of the first people that I actually met off of this app. If not like, one of the first people I met face to face on this app in Fayetteville. You know what I mean? We just so happened to meet in a group, but you were in this arena. You were the first person I met in this group face to face. From then to now, I'm a completely different person, but I've evolved in such a short period of time, and I've realized who I am, and others' opinions of me do not make me less of a shaman. You know what I mean? It doesn't. I just feel like when you start putting yourself, or you back away from someone because you don't understand, you should actually continue to fight. Like with my brother and I went back and forth because he was literally, fighting to understand who I am. And I had to keep trying to change it and change it and change it in a way that he could conceptualize it and then be like, oh, okay. And then this morning, before he left the house, he said, I am so proud of you and I love you. And I've always loved you. He's like, I don't care if you came in here with one of them little ponytails on the top of your head and the rest of your head shaved. One of the people in the people that used to be in the, no, I'm not talking about you, energy, but I'm talking about the religious people that used to be in the airports all the time, and they dressed up like monks. You know what I mean? He's like, I don't care if you're one of them, you're still my sister, and I'm proud of you, and I see you. For him to say, I see you after the intense day that we had yesterday was just wild. Hey, Harmlove, I'm looking at your face. So this is like my second page. So, okay, you'll have to like inbox me. Yeah, the Hare Krishnas. You have to inbox me your name. Um, so it's been an amazing for me, amazing, but it has broken my heart in certain places, the judgment of others, but and it breaks my heart, not because it hurts my feelings. It breaks my heart because you don't get to experience what I'm able to give you. And I know that might sound kind of egotistical, but I don't care. You know what I mean? It is what it is. I own who I am. And it's just like, all right, you don't want to experience the love that I have to give, then that's your choice. I'm going on to someone who can appreciate who I am, you know? So,
And
yeah, I felt that.
I think that's about, like I said, everyone having an open mind. I am, one thing I can say, I am glad that I had an open mind. I have got to experience so many different things and people and ideologies, and, and it's a beautiful thing to me. But yeah, the judgment from the community, well, I'll go back to what I said. When I got with my ex, I was in high school and I lost every single friend. And then after that, I lost my parents. They finally came around, but it took a while.
Mama needs to answer the question. I was staying muted because I'm the echo. So I was while everybody else was talking. But to answer your question, um, I found myself having, in order for me to be who I am truthfully, is for me to let go of people that are not for me. So that way I'm not in a community where people could judge me, because people accept me for who I am to now. Like, and it always, and for most of my life, it's always been like that. I choose the people that I want to be around. I was not in a community where I had to unlearn something like the traditional norms. I separated myself from what they call the traditional norms. So for me, my life today is my norm. So yeah. And then, I met a lot of fabulous people here on this platform. And if I, it's my choice to be around the people that I feel that's like like-minded people, um, who I truly love and respect. And that's all of you who are here now, because if I didn't, none of you would be here. Um, so yeah, that's my answer to your question. I've always created, like, as an adult, I am my community.
And I think that's the beauty of being an adult, because you get to make the choices. No one is
Right.
making the choices for you.
So
Everything is not for everybody, but you shouldn't be sitting in judgment just because you don't understand someone else's direction.
yep. So I've learned to separate myself from the traditional norms. So, cause anybody here tell you, like, I will cut you off if you're not for me, and I don't have a problem with that. And um, and I'm gonna say this probably every time I go live. I'm protecting my peace. So whatever that means for me. Not Aquarius with
I
the
had
C.
to put
That sounds just like
the
me.
cutoff game is strong.
That sounds just like
Because when
me.
her cutoff,
I live
her
by the
cutoff game
saying.
is strong.
Oh, I'm sorry. I often live by this
Sorry, I was just
saying.
saying her
What?
cutoff game is strong.
Oh yeah, I got that same energy, that same cutoff game. But I go by this saying, and I say this all the time, that what's for me is for me. I don't have to fight for it. I don't have to try to hold on to it. If you're for me, you're not going nowhere. I say it all the time. I'm not going to hold a hand or keep rescuing somebody who doesn't want to be around me. I'm a good person. I know I am. I give good energy. I'm very open minded. I'm very positive. So if you're not for me, I'm not going to keep you here. Actually, I'm going to I remove myself. I'm saying, you don't have to, but I will remove myself, and I don't care what stage we are. It could be looking like we're cool, but if my energy says remove, removing myself. I'm removing myself from that. And I
Yes.
also go by the thing, I choose me. I choose me. Those are my favorite two sayings that I utilize throughout my life. Especially when I've been on this healing journey for years now, over 10. So I have to keep healing myself and keep myself going in the right direction. So what, like you said, I'm like you. What's if it's not for me, I'm not holding on to it. So yeah.
Faith, where you at? Haven't heard from you in a minute.
And but to answer your question real quick,
Mm-hmm.
your question, I've been hit with a lot of anger, not just by men but women too. What I speak about when going against this topic, this topic example, I've been hit with a lot of anger.
I hear you, love. Faith, you in the background. Talk to us.
I was just trying to give space and just listen to what everybody was saying because it's so valuable. But I want you to know specifically, you are a person that has made it okay for me and taught me that it really is okay to put myself first, because that's the thing that I had to unlearn. I mean, my mama cut my daddy's toenails. She did everything for him. And when she passed away, he didn't even know to check the mail. I came home 3 weeks later and was like, Dad, I mean, I had friends, he would get lost in the grocery store and I would have friends that would have to show my dad where the milk was. I mean, I grew up in a household where women submitted to men, full stop. And I've been married for almost 19 years. I have 3 kids. And it's one of the hardest things that my dad has had to, like, he has a real disdain at points to seeing me not get up and fix my husband's plate, or, not do everything for my husband like I watched my mom do for my dad. And then when my mom died, I kind of took it on because he had to be taken care of. It was my responsibility. As the woman, it was my responsibility to care for that man before anything else happened. And I lost myself. And when I found this app and I found my people, y'all, I started to learn and see a whole different way of living, and that it really was okay for me to be me, to put myself first, to love myself, because we got the love God and we got the love your neighbor, but the whole love yourself thing was not a thing that women were taught. So seeing other women specifically mirror that for me was so valuable, because what I was seeing was the opposite of that. So this community is so valuable. I just want to reiterate that to you, giving women a space, allowing us to unpack these things. And then everybody gets to decide what is that they want to do. It's not that there might be a night where I'm fixing plates for everybody, but if I fix my husband a plate, it's because I wanted to fix him a plate, not because he was sitting around expecting me to fix him a plate because he wasn't going to eat. And until I could learn to take care of myself, and then mirror that. I have 2 daughters. They're looking at me. They're watching me. They're seeing how I interact. They're watching what I do, and they're learning how to love themselves, and I'm teaching that to them. So, and y'all have given that to me. It's like, my mom's been gone for almost, in 2 weeks, it'll be 16 years. And I lost her 22 days before I became a mother. So I have just been winging it. She was gone and I was grieving her and becoming a mother. And now I have 3 kids. I've been married for almost 18 years. But until now, I'm just now figuring out how to be me. And that me doesn't have to be everybody else, and that everybody gets to decide, or should, what's best for them. So I just want to say thank you, because I've had the opportunity to, meet 2 of you in real life, put my arms around you. And Mika's been in my house, like she sat with me in my home. All of my children, I mean, it's a gift. So this is a great space. I appreciate all of you sincerely. And
And I have to say to you before we get off of here that our exchange we had that day was none their other. Like, I remember how I felt. I remember how we connected. I remember like we cried together. We just sat there. We went in the bathroom, was on the floor talking. You know what I mean? Like, and it was just
It was raw and real and
thank you,
personal.
real. And I was
Yeah.
like, I'm like, I knew that I had one of those people where if even if I didn't talk to you for a year, that you were always going to be my fave.
I feel the same.
You
Look,
know what
how
I
many times did I run back over to you last week and just hug you, you know? It was like the best feeling ever, just to like be wrapped up in your arms. And that's great value to me, to have women in my life that know who they are, that are strong and powerful and certain, and they're loving and giving, but they're also not going to condition me to take anyone's crap. They're going to let me be who I am, you know, and everybody gets to be the best of them. And that's really amazing. And I think that I think we all kind of get put in, you know, everybody gets put in a box. And then you kind of just fit yourself into that box until you realize it's not the way it has to be. And spaces like this give a lot of room for growth. And you know, I don't remember who said it about the job. I never thought about it that way. Like, why, if you can't change, then you can't grow. And everything has a place in time. There's people in my life that have been in my life for a long time that aren't in my life anymore, but it doesn't mean it didn't have value. It doesn't mean that it didn't matter or mean something. And I can take everything that I've experienced in moments like this by listening to other perspectives. And if you listen, then you learn. And it might be something you didn't anticipate learning about yourself, something that you never thought that would connect, that you're like, oh, wow, I never thought about it that way. And then I'm going to take that with me, you know? So I've just been over here soaking it up because I just love hearing all of your perspectives. Donna, I even love hearing you sing. Don't.
That's right. Don't let her kid you. She could sing, drop some bars.
Yep, you're all amazing, and I appreciate you sincerely. Like, thank you for sharing yourself.
Don't give me the singing. Don't give me the singing up in here.
Go, you got a +1, so just check me out.
Faith, you know I love you, and I love your energy. Like you can't help but be drawn to Faith when you meet her in person, and she does give the best hugs, guys. So yeah, if you're ever in the area,
Scared
she
everybody at that game because she popped up on me. I was supposed to know she was coming, and I turned around to go to the bathroom, and I just lost myself completely. It was the biggest thing the Panthers have seen in a long time. We were the most excited that have been in that stadium in a minute.
it was fun because she didn't notice me at first when I was standing there, but she don't know I came halfway across that damn stadium to meet with her. It's yeah, so it was fun. It was funny when she turned around. She turned around twice. The first time she didn't see me, she looked again, and then she saw me. I think she probably ran over a couple of kids to get to me, but Mika was on the phone. Mika was on the phone. Yeah.
I apologized to that kid later. I was like, dude, I'm so sorry. That was my friend, and she snuck up on me, and I was really happy.
But yeah. So this is my final question, and is and Faith just touched on it. Is it possible to honor your roots while also rejecting parts of them? And what does that look like for you?
Can I just go ahead and do that real quick so then I can be good and listen? Because I have had to, I have had to, I've had to let go of people that I never thought I would have to let go of. People that were close to me. And it wasn't something that I necessarily wanted to do, but it was something that I had to do. And then I started to recognize, you hear a song or you have a moment or you have a memory and you think about that person and you can't call them and you know that, you know, you feel that disconnect to that thing that you had with them. And it has taken me a very long time to get to the point where I can remember the good
and how it made me feel and what I might have gotten out of it. Like my brother and I haven't spoken in 6 years, and I don't know that we will. We'll see each other, but we're not going to have a relationship. And I've had to make peace with that. But he's also the one that made me a Miami Dolphins fan and made me a Tar Heel basketball fan. And I know, God help me being a Miami Dolphins fan. It is what it is. We're playing the Browns today. We're both 1-5. So let's see whose coach gets fired. But that's beside the point. I love a Browns fan because they struggle like we do. So shout out to all the Browns fans in the world. But, you know, he taught me how to play spades at 4 years old. Like he was sneaking me out of the house to play spades with his friends when he was like 18 and I was literally like 6, you know, and I could hold my own. But like then that relationship ended and I would go to watch the football game and want to call him, or I would, you know, think about something and it took so long for me to reconcile the fact that I can still love the Tar Heels. I can still be really good at spades and love to play. I can still be a basketball fan and find other people to connect to, you know? And I think it's important that you can take the good parts of it and realize, yeah, he may have brought those things to me, but I still love them just because I love them. You know, I can reconcile all that, take the good with me, and then move forward and leave the bad out, you know? So I do think it's possible to just realize what it is that is you and authentic to you. If it's a relationship with someone or something you experience, what part of that is authentic to you? If it is, then keep it and let it grow. And if it's not, let it be what it was and then move forward and take the lesson. You're either going to take it with you or you're going to take the lesson. And it's going to be one or the other for me.
You have been listening to me. So I'm going to repeat the question. Is it possible to honor your roots while also rejecting parts of them? And what does that look like for you?
Man, I had again, yesterday was an experience. I had explained to my brother how I am still a Christian, but I'm different because I take from that part of me what fits for me. But he's like, but you're still, in this. I said, you got to think outside of the box. You got to be fluid. But when somebody's so rigid, you know what I mean? It's hard to, and then finally I just said, I'm done, But what does that look like? It looks like, I have this part of it that I take that fits into who I am now, but the other parts that turn me away from that part are where they are and they're going to stay there. But I can still be who I am inside my heart and still say that I am that part of me, but I'm not the other part of that belongs to that. So it's like, you know, it's not always an all or nothing thing. You can take away the key parts like love, honor, respect, but you don't have to be submissive and, run yourself ragged and not pour into yourself. Or, even if you want to go back to how the words are in the great book, self-love is quote unquote a sin. You know what I mean? Like literally, but in order to love, you gotta love yourself first. So it's the contradiction stuff, leaving the stuff that's contradictory, and then just taking what works for you. A lot of people can't do that, but you can pick and choose parts of it, and still honor your ancestors, and still say that oh, I know that wherever I'm going, I'm going to exist. I'm going to evolve to the next level of wherever I need to go. But it's just not exactly. It's the creator. I had to explain to him that the creator is everything. And then it was just a lot. I'm going to just put it like that. I don't want to unpack here, but we're just going strawberry cake. Yes. But she does not want the chocolate cake. that she got. Nobody wanted the chocolate cake. But it was so
It was
pretty.
so pretty though. That was the word. It's so pretty though.
But it was so disgusting. It was like,
Instant.
ugh.
No, it wasn't nasty. It was just extremely too much chocolate. It so much it made me nauseous.
All I saw was it was pretty. But then when I saw it, I couldn't even eat it. It's like, ugh. I told Diamond, I said, I didn't hear that.
Cutting it, it was thick.
It was
a cut. As soon as the knife went through it, it was like, ooh, golly.
Ladies, I promise you this was too much chocolate. I'm gonna post a picture of myself and I'm gonna tag all of y'all in it holding that cake. And you go
You can tell she looked like that kid that was being made to smile during school pictures, and she's like.
No, it
The
was that.
funny part
It was
was
that
they were
scene from
videoing that
Matilda.
moment. Look, they were videoing that moment, and you can hear energy, like encouraging Diamond. Just go ahead, And she's like, I can't. He's like, what? And it was just like, I said, I hear y'all talking shit. That was just so funny, though.
Oh, sorry. But no.
No more chocolate cakes. She gonna have strawberry cake.
I'm sorry, y'all. It's me that's the echo, and I'm gonna figure it out after this. But
Looks like
again,
you're going in and out. Oh,
I'll,
see.
to get back to your question, Diamond, I'll say that, as I said earlier, the beauty of it is we are adults now, and you will never forget what you were taught, never forget where you came from. But as an adult, you have the opportunity to interpret things in your own way and be good with that. Period.
anyone else want to respond to the question? Because we are coming to a close, and I do want to hear final thoughts before I do the outro. Anybody else want to respond to the question? And I'll repeat it. Is it possible to honor your roots while also rejecting parts of them? And what does that look like to you?
For me,
I would say yes. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
okay. For me, I'll respect what people's choices, but I don't have to live by it, and I'm okay with it. If it doesn't, all things don't fit for everybody. No one thing, should I say, fit for everybody. And I'm going to continue on my journey and doing what I'm doing. And I have to live for me. I have to, choose me and do what's right for me. And I just hope people respect that about me and be okay with it. Because, I'm not here to change nobody, but, I am here to be unconditioned and reprogrammed and all of that. So, and I'll share who I am with the world, and some will receive it and some will not, and I'm okay with that.
And yeah, there's nothing wrong with that because get to a get to a point where you just don't care anymore what other people think.
Exactly.
But go ahead, son.
So for me, I would say yes. Yes, it's possible um, to maintain my roots. And my roots is, like I'll go back to believe in what I want to believe in spirituality, taking what works for me on my path. And like I say, if it don't apply, let it fly. So I can respect everyone's opinion in the past, But for me, I'm going to do what my heart feels is right.
What about you, Jay?
I'm just gonna continue to take myself off the pedestal that I let, I guess, family, friends, and society put on me, which is, I'm very accountable for me for putting myself on that pedestal, which is um, which was filled with fear of judgment. So now I have learned the art of not giving a fuck, and sometimes it feels selfish. Um, but I know that I'm just gonna stay true to me as long as I know that my morals and my integrity, and I treat the people I love with respect, and keeping those lines of communication. I know now that I will never stop learning. I'm not perfect, and so yeah, this is me. Um, Whether you like me or not. And like I said before, I cared, and now I don't.
So when y'all get to be my age, I'm joking. So, but okay, but thank y'all. I appreciate each and every one of you for being here. I know I'm echoing, and I truly, truly apologize. I don't know why. I don't know if it's the phone itself. Um, I'll try going live from my iPhone, but I just don't like the interruptions that the iPhone gives me. But I know what to do. I'll put it on Do Not Disturb. But in any case, thank each and every one of y'all for being here. Um, I'm gonna go. I want to know: is there any closing remarks? Anything that anyone wants to say before I do the outro?
Me.
Ooh. Okay, go ahead.
I was going to write it in the comments. Thank you, Diamond, for allowing me up here. Good to see you again, Tamika. Great to learn and love and see women embracing themselves. I feel really good here. Diamond, I just told Diamond that she was the first notification. I've been on here going on 5 years, if not 5 years already, and she has been the first notification I have linked on. So I want to be back. I'm coming back. So if I seem like a stalker, y'all just gonna have to deal with it. But I'll be back. Okay, and appreciate y'all. Thank you so much. Y'all are a blessing. Thank you.
You're more than welcome to come back anytime. Any other closing remarks?
I'd like to just say that this is a great topic, and it would be wonderful if the world could have this same discussion. It would be uplifting for everyone. I'm beneficial anyway. So thank you, Diamond. Another.
I'll be trying, y'all. I'll be trying to come up with these topics. And if y'all do have any topics y'all want me to bring to 31 Voices, just go ahead and send me a message. If you have my number, you could text me. If you don't, you could DM me. I'll see it. So just keep them coming. Keep them coming.
Yeah, unmute. Tell her to unmute because
But
she's talking
I think
shit.
this is a great topic, and I think I was telling Diamond earlier that not earlier, but later earlier this week, I was like, I think I'm struggling with that, but when listening, um, I'm not struggling with it because just as much as I'm learning, I'm going to continue to unlearn and discover new things that I'm unlearning and that I'm changing, and that is always continuous growth. So,
Yeah, you got to peel back those layers, girl. Peel them back. It's all right.
I just wanted to say thank you for, again, another amazing conversation with amazing people, both on the panel and in the chat. And I appreciate being able to speak my piece. to use my voice. And if I could give encouragement to everyone to have an open mind and be willing to learn and love. And that's all. Thank you.
You're most welcome.
I just want you to know that I'm going to make you a midnight chocolate cake that you can eat. And we'll
Yes.
halfway and we'll have a normal chocolate cake, okay?
Okay. I'm waiting because I need it. We can't hear you, Diamond.
Oh, I said I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it, y'all. It can't be chocolate inside and out. I can't. It gotta have
We
something.
gotta have yellow cake with chocolate icing.
Yes. Now there you go.
Lala, I'm proud of you. I've seen Lala on live a couple of times, going live by herself since the first day she went live. That day we made her go live. So I'm proud of her. I just wanted to tell her that.
Oh, thank you. And thank you and Diamond for
Somebody else was
encouraging
supposed to go live. We still waiting.
me. Yeah.
And Mama Nista, if you still here, I made you a mod because I needed you earlier, but I didn't know if you picked up on that or not. Um, yeah. So, anybody else have any closing remarks? Okay. So, hold up. Ah, I'm on my laptop. So, okay. This conversation is a reminder that we are not static beings. We're not here to stay stuck in inherent stories. We are here to evolve, to shed, to question, and to become. It takes courage to unlearn and even more courage to rebuild from a place of truth. But you're not alone in this. Thank you for showing up with your voice, your questions, your presence. Let this just be the beginning of a deeper return to your truest self. So until next time, keep learning, keep becoming. And then you are not here to be what the world expects. You are here to be what your soul remembers. That's one of the quotes. And that is it. That's it for 31 Voices.